Ron Stacchiati is with us from Old Forge, talking about the girls basketball program. And Coach, let's talk about your team this year. In a competitive league, and there's some teams that are at different tiers. Where can we find the Lady Blue Devils this year?
I think we're right there with the exception of Dunmore. I think we can play with anybody else in our league, and we can compete and we can beat. I think we can beat anybody else in our league.
Let's talk about what the makeup of this year's team is.
Well, it's mostly guard oriented. You're going to see we're not very big, so we got a couple shooters. We got a couple kids who can play inside, and defense is our main source.
But the fun with this group, it always seems that Old Forge girls, they're close-knit as a small school. They know how to have fun. And from a coaching perspective, you want to see the girls have fun, but there's a lot of business that has to get done.
Oh, yeah. Well, this group, they'll come in and work hard. They know there's time for fun. There's time for working hard. And they will work hard. They've worked hard all off-season and stuff, and that's why, we're at where we're at.
With so many guards and being a little maybe undersized, as you say, talk about the stuff underneath, the boxing out and rebounding and making sure that you have a presence down low.
Right. Well, we got some good rebounders down there, kids that box out very well, and then with our team, everybody's got to go to defensive boards.
Tough week of games, Dunmore and Riverside, but it's the way the schedule falls sometimes. You get Holy Cross in there, you throw all those teams in there. It's just the way it is, but in the end, I hope you can win a couple of those games and make you better. So take us through the mentality of these girls embracing the challenges of practice.
Well, we were ready for Riverside on Monday, and the weather interceded. So now we had to practice today. We had to get ready for Dunmore on Thursday, and then Riverside back on Saturday. And then we got Holy Cross on Monday. So it's not an easy schedule, but they're ready. They'll be ready for it.
As far as your work as a coach, I've heard some other Lackawanna conference coaches of, hey, we're old school. We want to get in the gym and see other teams. Other guys are, they're watching huddle. They're breaking down film. For you, talk about what it's like to be a coach in this day and age, 2019 here.
I'm old school. I'm back in back when I coached 7th and 8th grade and stuff. I like to go scout. I can't film a game because I just can't scout and watch it and film it. We'll watch film, but we'll mostly watch film on ourselves. Maybe in the playoffs, we'll get to the playoffs. If we get to state playoffs, then we'll watch film on other teams because you can't really go scout them that much. But the kids, I have the kids watching film, but I don't get on huddle because I got on it so they would get on it because they could see it. They didn't really. So if we need something sent to us, our film guy will email it to everybody.
Between here we are in late January and the end of February, what needs to happen with this team to prepare yourself for the playoffs?
We just got to get better every day. We're competitive now in our league and everything. We just got to get better every day and be prepared for the district playoffs because Holy Cross dropped down to 2A this year. And then you got Northwest. There's 3 pretty good teams, and right now we're in the top spot and we're just trying to stay there.
Our coach, we wish you the best the rest of the way.
All right, thanks.
Lindsey Welsh is with us here in the John Mendola Show from Old Forge. It's your junior year, so let's talk a little bit about your responsibilities as a point guard and what coach expects you to do.
Well, I've definitely had to step up more as a leader and a role model for the rest of the girls on the team. And I'm just trying to get everyone involved in the offense and trying to have fun with everyone.
You had it when you were a freshman. I mean, you had that talent to play varsity athletics. And now here it is, already your junior year. Time goes by fast. What's it been like for you to, first taste of varsity and say, okay, I'm pretty good, but I got to get a little better to help my team? What are some areas you focused on to say, these are areas I need to improve on?
Definitely my shooting. That's one of my, part of my biggest, how do I word this? Part of my game that I,
And you're good at shooting, but you want more, right?
Yeah.
I mean, more consistency.
I need more ways to get open, especially as I come up now. All the other teams kind of figured out what I could do. So I have to build off of it and keep getting better every day.
Talk about that time you put in. Is it in the gym, the backyard, the park? Where do you find yourself trying to put in extra time for basketball?
Anywhere, literally anywhere. Anywhere I could run or do, hills or by the school, in the school gym, anywhere I could go, I have to be there.
Who's pushing you? Is it you, or is it your family, or your coaches, or you feel like you're self-motivated saying, hey, I want to get better?
It's a combination of all of them. I mean, my parents are my family definitely pushes me a lot, and they expect a lot from me, which is like always good to have because they're always like there. And definitely my teammates, they push me to be better and always like want me to improve. Like I'll go to the gym with them, I'll text them, and they always want to get better too. So it's kind of good that we're both on the same page.
I see cross country down. Is that a sport you're serious about?
Yeah, I really like cross country. I joined when I was a freshman, so it was really fun my first year, but now it's like last year and this year I've taken it more seriously.
Well, you're competitive in the classroom as well. 3.8 grade point average. You like math. Talk about being so driven academically and athletically, trying to be the best you could be.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard because there's a lot of pressure, like on both ends, school and sports. So it's not easy doing both and trying to maintain both. I mean, I definitely have my fair shares of ups and downs, but I just keep going.
And National Honor Society, Leo Club, peer mediation, so you're involved with some other stuff. To stay as well-rounded as you could, do you feel like that's extra pressure, or is that good for you to kind of break things up?
It's good for me because I definitely need to work on my time management, especially growing up because it's going to get crazy. So I got to work on that.
It's going to get crazy. It's a great line. Your mom, your grandfather, your brothers, you have a lot of people that you look up to.
Yeah.
Tell us a little story or a little thing about each of them and why they're there as role models for you.
Well, my brothers, they're always like pushing me because they're my big brothers. I mean, they're going to want their little sister to do well. So they're always like giving me pointers or tips or telling me to watch these games, these people like from the NBA or college. So that's where they come in. My mom, she's just all around supporter of like everything I do. And my grandfather, he always comes to the games. It's like hard for him to come out, so when he does, it really means a lot to me.
Very sweet. Well, we wish you the best with your teammates the rest of the way, and those playoffs will be here before you know it. But keep going, Lindsey.
All right, thank you.
Michaela Parker is with us from Old Forge. We're talking about the girls' basketball program. Michaela, Coach Stacchiotti, he never is satisfied, which a lot of good coaches aren't ever satisfied. Mm-hmm. He knows it's going to be a tough week with Dunmore and Riverside and then Holy Cross. But he said the girls kind of accept that. Talk about being able to work hard and being able to say, hey, we don't care who's on the schedule. We're just going to go out there and play hard.
Every practice we go as hard as we can, even knowing how hard the teams are. The teams are very difficult, especially this week. This week is going to be one of our hardest weeks ever. But no matter what, no matter the team, we still go as hard as we can.
Talk about your role on the team. What's Coach expect out of you?
Well, for me, he expects me quickness, getting back on the team. No matter what, shooting, we have to shoot. Because when they play hard on Lindsey and Olivia, he expects everyone else to shoot.
Let's talk about the softball and other sport you play, how serious you are about that, and what position you play.
I'm a center and shortstop for softball. That's another hard thing. I'm very dedicated to softball and basketball, so it's year-round.
You got a little brother, Cameron?
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about him.
He plays football, baseball, basketball. He's very good at it.
And how about him cheering you on? Is he there to kind of cheer you on?
Yes, every game.
Pretty cool. And let's talk about your role models, mom and dad, and what they do for you to set you up for success.
They work hard for me on practice. They expect a lot. They never want me to give up or keep my head down if I make a mistake. That's up to them.
And as far as the future for you, you're thinking maybe sports medicine, physical therapy track?
I really like that.
Math in school, 3.5 grade point average. You have a favorite teacher, or is a part of math that you really like?
My math teacher, Mrs. Cummings, she's a very good teacher. She makes sure we do our best every day.
And as far as the fun with the girls, so talk about getting out and just kind of getting some laughs in and enjoying life as a high school student athlete.
We always go for team meets together. Very fun. We have a group chat where we send videos and we just laugh no matter what. Even we look up to each other. Every one of us, we all respect. Playing
for Coach Stacchiotti, he's a tough coach. And then you go over to softball and you play for Coach Ravello. Talk about trying to push yourself and getting your best out of yourself here in your high school years as an athlete.
Well, they always, no matter what, they're always there for us, no matter what. If we make a mistake, they're very good coaches.
All right, Michaela, well, we hope you have a bright future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cory Holzman with us here on the John Mendola Show. We talk about the Old Forge girls basketball team. And Cory, let's talk about your role on the team this year.
Coach really expects me to know my role, and it's to play defense, box out, rebound, especially we don't really have size. I'm the biggest girl on the team, so we really have to use our physicality to our advantage.
And what's it like to play for Coach Stacchiotti, a demanding coach, but says that these girls are very self-motivated, that they get fired up?
Yeah, when we have after-school practices, like us being captains, me, Lindsey, and Abby, we really get everyone together and quick so we could stretch so we can make the most out of the 2 hours that we have for our limited practices.
Well, you're pretty darn motivated academically, second in your class, 4.0, you love calculus. Talk about what it's like to be a student for you.
Time management is key, especially, which helps so much with sports, because you know, I go to practice, I go home, I do my homework, and then if you have time, you go out with friends, but it's really just priorities.
Well, you got them down, that's for sure. And you're a softball player as well. Let's talk about the position you play there and what you like about that sport.
I pitch, and I like that because you take command, especially, it kind of relates into basketball. Defense, taking command of the game on the mound, taking command of the game, the time, the pacing, and just the teammates. It's really great to be a leader and a captain, and Old Forge is great for that.
Big family, 2 brothers and a sister, so take us through what they're all up to.
Colin, he's on the varsity football team. I don't really know positions, but he did pretty good. He was leading in tackles this year. He's a sophomore. And then I have Casey, he plays football and basketball, junior high, so he's doing pretty good right now. He's the point guard. And then Cabrina, she's trying to find her way. She's 8 years old. She plays every sport. She wants to play soccer now. So we're just kind of, one day it's soccer, softball, basketball, we just go with the flow.
Cabrina must look up to her older sister, huh?
Yeah, more the boys than me. She wants to play football.
Very cute. Let's talk about your folks and the support they give you and the rest of your siblings. It sounds like everybody's kind of got their act together, and a lot goes to them.
It really comes from my parents. Like, they gave us so many opportunities in the world and supported us with everything we did. Pushed us to work hard. Our dad was always outside practicing, hitting me balls in softball, playing basketball, making me go against my brothers. And they were always just the type of parents, you earn what you get. They never got you anything, and they just gave us all the tools in the shed to get us where we are now.
Awesome to hear.
Yeah.
Peer Mediation, Math and Science Club, National Honor Society, and University of Scranton dual enrollment. I'm sure you get to see a little bit of the other side of being in some of those college classes. What's that like, that experience?
Very freeing, and especially when it comes back to sports taught me so much time management, because when you get there, it's all on you. You don't have someone telling you what to do, and I think that's where practices and schedules came into play.
This team has a big upside. There's a lot to work on, but there's a lot of good about it as well. Talk about what you like about it, and then an area you got to improve in between now and the playoffs.
I like how tight-knit we are. We have the 6 that go in, and then we have the 2 or 3 that come off the bench, and everyone knows their role, and I think that's the biggest key with us, because, like I said, we don't have the biggest size, but we know what we need to do when we step out on that court. Working on, I think, more going in confidently and just attacking any team that comes our way and just playing our game. So.
All right, we wish you the best of luck. Great to catch up with you.
Thank you.
Olivia Chulo is with us here on the John Mendola Show, sophomore year. Let's talk about how you got involved with basketball and why you like it.
I just been playing basketball since I was little. Me and my dad always just played basketball out in the driveway. He coached me when I was little. Just fell in love with it.
Playing for Old Forge, talk about what that's like, because there's been a lot of tradition at Old Forge, and there's been some good teams. You feel like this team has potential to be a good team that people will remember?
Yeah, definitely. We have a lot of roles that need to be filled, so we have a good team. We could go very far. We have a lot of potential. We just have to fill it.
No real bigs, but everybody kind of makes up for that. A lot of heart and just positioning and boxing out and different things. Talk about everybody stepping up and just trying to say, hey, I might have to be the big today, or 3 or 4 of us will have to be it.
Yeah, like all of us, we're small, but we just have to box out, get the rebounds, get what we need to fill that place and not having a big.
How about the ability to score? We know Lindsey has that ability, but there has to be other players that score their 6, 8, 10 points that contribute to this team.
Yeah, just open shots, to have them take them. Sometimes you got to create your own. Sometimes you just need to score.
Absolutely. You're doing a good job in the classroom with a 3.6. You enjoy math. Talk about the academic part for you. Something that comes easy, or you feel like, hey, I got to grind at it and do my best to make sure I continue to do well?
Yeah, some subjects, they just come easy, but there's definitely some where you really have to sit down, study for it, and really focus on it.
Younger sister, Gabby?
Yeah.
Talk about what she's up to and the relationship you have with her.
We always play basketball together, so I'm like the big sister. I always got to help them. So.
And mom and dad, as far as your role models, talk about them supporting you and giving you a pretty good gig
Yeah.
to work from and say, hey, I'm going to try to grow and learn from you, Mom and Dad.
Yeah, they're always supporting me, always there, always whatever I want to do, they're always there.
And as far as Coach Stacchiotti and the demands he puts on, you talk about playing for him. He can be demanding, but he's always in the best interest of the student athlete.
Yeah, definitely. He's always in the best interest of us. Sometimes he's hard on us, but it's only just because he knows what we can do.
All right, Olivia, well, we wish you the best of luck. Keep it going.
Thank you.
Abby Nee is with us, a senior guard here on the Old Forge basketball team. Abby, talk about your role on the team. What's Coach expect you to do?
My role on the team is to play defense, and whenever I go get the ball on offense, to shoot as much as I can, especially three-point shots.
And you play golf as well. Is that something that you really enjoy? You just kind of started to pick up the game?
I started playing when I was a sophomore, and I really liked it, so I just stuck with it.
Cool. You're involved with a lot of clubs, peer mediation, math and science, music videos, eating together, National Honor Society. So it sounds like you're well-rounded. Talk about being a student athlete at Old Forge. It's a really small school. When you have the friends that you have, I'm sure those relationships will last a long time.
Yeah, it's really small. Everyone knows everyone. You kind of get close together, and especially being on like the basketball team, like you guys like all combine together and like
just have fun.
Yeah.
Brandon and Bella, your siblings, so tell us about what both of them are up to and your relationship with them.
My brother Brandon, he is going to college at the University of Scranton. He used to play basketball. And my sister is in 8th grade, so she'll be coming up next year to play basketball for the Lady Devils.
Math, one of your favorite subjects, 3.5 grade point average. You'd like to go be a special education teacher. You have an idea yet on where you may want to go?
I might want to go to King's College or Marywood. And my mom is a special education teacher, so it kind of helped me to get into the program.
Absolutely. And two good schools with two good programs, your mom, your dad, and your grandmother. 3 role models. Tell us a little story about each or why you look up to them and how they support you.
My grandma does everything for us. She's always there for us whenever. My parents are there for us too. They always come to the games. So.
Well, we wish you the best, Abby. We appreciate your time. Good luck.
Thank you.
Angelina Rios is with us here in the John Mendola Show. She's a sophomore. Let's talk about your role on the team. What's the coach expect of you?
The coach expects me to go as hard, play hard, keep my head in the game, basically, and just to give it all I have.
How much fun do you have with the ladies here at Old Forge? And it seems like a good time.
It is so much fun. They are so supportive. We literally love each other as a family, and I love that.
That's what's important. Math and science, a couple of your favorite subjects. You have a 3.5 grade point average. So talk about doing well in school and making sure that's the most important part of anything.
Yes. It's like, I know basketball is like mostly everything, and I love it, but I always got to keep up with my grades. It's like a main thing.
You got a big family, Anthony, Antonio, and Jasmine, so everybody involved. Talk about the competition within the family, saying, hey, I had this or I had that. Does everybody come out and support everybody?
Yes, everyone comes out to support everybody. Well, since my sister's like pregnant now, she can barely like come to see my games, but she is still supportive on like text messages and still watch us.
Well, you're going to be an aunt soon, so that's a whole other responsibility.
Yes.
Let's talk about your mom and the relationship you have with her and why you look up to her.
Me and my mom, we've been close ever since, mostly ever since like we were down, and she was always there for me, and like she was like my best friend. We did mostly everything together. So.
All right. Well, I hope you continue that. And you're just a sophomore, so you got a bright future ahead of you and some tough games coming up. So we wish you the best, okay?
Yes, thank you.